So we really need to understand that God has given us choice, and a profound choice at that, because our greatest gift is to be able to give life. And we give others life, but we also have to give ourselves life. If we're not giving ourselves life, we're not giving others life either. If we're not loving ourselves, we're not loving others. We're binding them up with the same configurations we've bound ourselves up with. Jesus was so specific. He said, you Pharisees go to the ends of the earth to make one convert, and you'd make them more sons of the devil than you are. You'd bind them up with so many rules and regulations and controls. And it's almost like in creating rules, in creating paradigms, we almost want to prove we're correct, and that this is how it has to be. But when we look at our lives, we see, well, there's actually a lot that I'm not happy with. So we need to ask ourselves what that relationship is. And I thought it's very similar. Our outer life and our false inner life are actually in a codependent relationship. You know what codependence is? Whereas two people or a group of people are in a relationship with each other, but they're dependent on each other to be themselves. So it's like a bondage. It's like a tie. You might be a peaceful person, the other person might be the angry one. And so they do the angry stuff and you do the peaceful stuff. And you do it for each other. And you're not free. You're not free. So it's almost like, you remember a three-legged race where they tie your two legs together and you'd run, sort of hobble along. Well, it's a bit like that. You're tied with somebody and you're not free to be yourself. And it's not fun running, because suddenly you sort of like, you hobble along. And codependence is when you're stuck to somebody else and you're not free. And they're stuck to you and they're not free. And it's almost like you need them and they need you to be yourselves. And the problem with that is we don't develop our own identity. We often find ourselves always trying to please the other. We find ourselves very unsure of our own identity because we don't know who we are without them. I often find that in single-parent families where a mother brought up a son and the son doesn't make a clean break to leave home, son and mother are codependent to the point where the son doesn't know where he begins and mom ends. And that causes enormous problems when he tries to fall in love with another woman. Because without thinking that, without being aware of it, he's aware that, he's betraying love with this woman for another woman, and can he do it? And so there's an enormous tension there. But it's unhidden, it's hidden, you can't see it. Except when the relationship breaks down and he moves back with his mom. And never really finds himself separate from his mom. So codependence is a difficult situation because it blurs the boundaries. It, as I said, it confuses what we're living for, because now we're living with and for somebody else as well. So our self-esteem gets knocked because we don't have a sense of esteem in our own right. We have esteem in as much as we can keep the other person happy. So we're responsible for both. And we take responsibility for the other, so we don't have a will of our own. It's a very confusing situation. It's quite a paralyzing situation because there's a constant need to be there for the other in a way that is compromising to the self. And I thought how the outer life and the inner life are very much codependent, because the inner life is trying to fix up whatever's happening on the outer life. The outer life is trying to insinuate itself onto the inner life. We need to be attractive to people. We need to be successful. We need to be popular. We need to be this and that. So the inner life tries to sort of accommodate that. But both of them are being unreal. So we're not in a good place when we are living for the other.